I'm gonna look really stupid if it's not. Wow. This tastes dry to me. Welcome back to Vino Blind. I'm Vince with V is for Vino. Open?
Open.
Okay, now open.
And this is another session where you and I will go together through a blind tasting, and hopefully it helps us both learn a little bit about what to look for and how to deductively taste, eliminate options to find the right answer. I've been doing pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling good about myself. He said before potentially missing the last white of the session. If you haven't watched our How to Blind Taste video, I would highly recommend starting there, because there I give all the theory behind what we're gonna do now, and this is more like the exercise, right? And you can guess along with us. Without further ado, let's get into it. Color-wise, white to straw, maybe a little rim variation, but not a lot. You know, a little bit of that watery rim. No gas, no nothing like that. Nothing that's gonna give it away. As I always mention, to me, the first smell is the most important. It's your first impressions and kind of like your gut instinct. So here we go. Wow, butter. Butter and oak, man. This is Chardonnay. We don't have to go through, the only question is where. I mean, this much butter and oak on it. I hate to ruin it off the top of the tasting, but there's nothing else it can be when it smells like this. You can eliminate everything else. Nothing else is gonna have this much oak and malolactic fermentation. The only question is it from Burgundy? Is it from Australia? Is it from the United States? So that's what we're gonna focus on in this tasting. But this is a good exercise because, you know, that's how you do it. Some Viognier, New World weird Viognier, they might use oak, but I don't think they'd use mallow like this. White Bordeaux might use some oak, but that's Sauvignon Blanc, and it's not, like I said, it's not gonna smell like this. Let's go in and figure out where it's from, right? To me now, because it's such a giveaway that it's Chard, to me, if I don't get where it's from, I'm wrong, even though I got the grape right, because that's the challenge here. Going in, good smoke character too. Not getting a ton of fruit, smoke, some nice mineral, maybe some ripe stone fruit, maybe even tropical, maybe some pineapple, but I'm not finding a lot of fruit yet. We'll see if that changes on the palate. The fruit character is ripe. It is ripe fruit, juicy, peaches, some pineapple. If there's lemon, it's almost like a Meyer lemon. Overripe apples. Non-fruit, I already mentioned. Oak character and malolactic fermentation, butter and toastiness and from the oak. So let's get into the palate. Anything new on the palate? Caramely. Still tracked with all the things I said, but I'm just getting this like maybe salty caramel thing going on. Sugar, no, dry. I can tell you something. A lot of New World Chardonnays and some American Chardonnays, it won't be off dry, but they'll keep a little of residual sugar in there. This tastes dry to me. This is a dry wine. Acidity. This is a big indicator as to, this will be a big indicator as to where a wine is from, New World or Old World, how high the acid is. Medium, which isn't gonna help me. I don't see it as screaming high, but it's also not flabby. Body. Medium plus, pretty weighty. Alcohol, a little hot, medium plus. I wouldn't be surprised if this is 14.5. Finish, medium. The weight helps it stay on the palate as well. And complexity, I'm okay with it. I like it. I'd say medium to medium plus. I mean, it's smoky. I'm getting some fruit character. We already mentioned we don't have to go through the grape character and say that it's Chardonnay, because we know that's what it is. I'm gonna look really stupid if it's not Chardonnay. Old World, New World, cool climate, or warm climate. That's what we gotta determine next. What would tell me it's from the Old World? High acid, less oak character, still oak, but less, and lighter body. The only thing that makes me think it's Old World is I'm getting a nice minerality to it, but I might be confusing that with the smoke character. This to me says New World. It says a warmer climate, New World, a medium to warm climate, New World wine. Because if I go back in what I talked about, right, in my structure, I think the alcohol is pretty high. I think it's like 14 and a half. The body is pretty big. The acid is medium. I would maybe expect a little more acid if this was like a Burgundy Chardonnay. And I'd be talking probably more about the mineral. So I think this is a New World wine. If it's a New World Chardonnay, it's from California, and it could be from Central California, could be from Paso Robles, could be from Sonoma, could be from Napa, or it's from Australia. This isn't bright enough to be a Santa Barbara Chardonnay, in my opinion. That's a cooler climate region for the most part. I don't think I get enough acid for that. So that leaves Napa, Sonoma, or Australia. Sonoma has so many microclimates. I don't know how you possibly say like if it's Sonoma. That's something that's a little tough. Napas are usually even bigger than this, usually. So I think it's either Sonoma, now you could say like, it would be Russian River, or it's Australia. That screams United States to me. Like the Australian Chardonnays that I have had, just less oaked than this. So I think this is American. It might be Napa. I don't think it's a Russian River. How do you pick between Russian River Chardonnay and Napa Chardonnay?
What's your gut say?
There's no gut to this. I guess if there's a gut, no, there's no gut to this. They can be so similar. I don't know how you possibly decide between a Napa and a Russian River. Maybe somebody in the comments can help me. I'm sure I'll Google it later. It's fresh. It's got more freshness than maybe I would expect a heavy-handed Napa producer to do. So I'm gonna say it's Russian River. Grape, Chardonnay, place, Russian River, California, which is in Sonoma County. Price, $29. Age, it's pretty young to me. You know, there's no kind of transformation of the fruit characters, so I think it's under 5 years. I think it's probably a newer vintage, 2021. Chardonnay, Russian River, California, $29, 2021 vintage. Final answer. Yeah.
You're locking it in?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Yeah, why are you doing that?
Because it's fun.
I can't change it because you said, are you sure? Then people will think you're giving me hints. We gotta leave it.
I know, you're locked in.
Yeah, I'm locked in. All right, here we go.
Your bag of wine has arrived.
All right. Napa, so close. So close. I knew it was Northern California. I didn't think it was Australia. I got the vintage right. How much was it?
38.
38. Yeah, well, that's Napa though. That's why I picked 29 because I was like, oh, it's, you know, Sonoma, you can get a little more value. Napa, they're gonna charge for the shards. I said if I didn't get the answer right, I don't, the place right, I don't consider I got it. I got really close. I'll give myself some points. I was really, really close. Russian River between Napa is just tough. Maybe somebody has some ideas in the comments of how you would determine between the two. Free Market Abbey's a good producer. It's just a decent Chardonnay. I don't personally drink a lot of Napa shards, but I don't mind the Chardonnay. Not bad. Glad I got close, and it was my second choice to be a Napa shard. So overall, I'm curious if any of you got it at home. Thank you for doing this. We got a couple more with the reds. This is our last white of this season, but we got a couple more reds, so stay tuned.